IELTS Vocabulary for Graph Description. IELTS Academic Writing Task 1. When you write about a graph in Task 1 of the IELTS academic test, you will most likely be using the language of change or the language of comparing and contrasting. In this first part we'll look at expanding your range of vocabulary and grammar structures for describing changes. Some of the common vocabularies and example sentence for graph description. Increase. The sales figures exhibited a consistent increase over 3 months. Rise. Stock prices experienced a significant rise during the first quarter. Grow. The company's revenue continued to grow month by month. Climb. The temperature climbed to 30 degrees Celsius in the afternoon. Decline. The quality of the product declined over time. Remain stable. The population of the city has remained stable for the past decade. Level off. After a period of rapid growth, sales leveled off in the last quarter. Peak. The demand for the product peaked during the holiday season. Bottom out. Housing prices seem to have bottomed out after a long period of decline. Plateau. The number of tourists visiting the city plateaued at around 2 million per year. Recover. The economy is expected to recover after a sharp decline. Sustain. The growth in the tech industry has been sustained over the years. Verbs for rise graph. To rise. The stock market is expected to rise significantly next week. To increase. The company's profits increased by 20% compared to last year. To surge. The number of online orders surged after the new product launch. To grow. The technology sector continues to grow at a rapid pace. To peak. Sales of the new smartphone are projected to peak during the holiday season. To rocket. The price of Bitcoin rocketed to an all-time high. To soar. The demand for renewable energy sources has soared in recent years. To leap. The company's stock price leaped after the positive earnings report. Verbs for fall graph. To fall. The temperature is expected to fall below freezing tonight. To decrease. The company's profits have decreased by 15% compared to last quarter. To decline. The quality of customer service has been in a steady decline. To dip. Sales numbers tend to dip during the off-season. To dive. The company's stock price took a dive after the negative news. To plunge. The value of the currency plunged during the economic crisis. To plummet. Housing prices plummeted, resulting in more affordable homes. Verbs for fluctuate graph. To fluctuate. The prices of cryptocurrencies tend to fluctuate daily due to market volatility. To vary. The weather in this region can vary greatly from day to day. Useful adverbs to emphasize the speed of changes. Sharply. The temperature sharply dropped from 30 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius in just a few hours. Suddenly. The stock prices suddenly surged after the positive earnings report. Rapidly. The company's revenue has been rapidly increasing over the past year. Abruptly. Sales of the product abruptly declined after a change in consumer preferences. Dramatically. The implementation of new policies dramatically improved the city's air quality. Significantly. The number of users on the website has significantly increased in the last month. Considerably. The company's market share has grown considerably over the past quarter. Markedly. The impact of the advertising campaign on sales was markedly positive. Wildly. The demand for the limited edition product increased wildly after its release. Useful adjectives to describe various degrees and intensities. Sharp. There was a sharp increase in website traffic after the redesign. Sudden. The sudden drop in sales was unexpected and concerning. Rapid. The company experienced rapid growth in its first year of operation. Abrupt. The abrupt change in government policy had a significant impact on the economy. Dramatic. The dramatic rise in oil prices caused a global economic crisis. Steep. The steep decline in the stock market led to investor panic. Significant. There has been a significant rise in the number of students attending the university. Considerable. The company's investment in R&D led to considerable improvements. Marked. There was a marked increase in customer satisfaction following the product update. Substantial. The company reported substantial profits for the fiscal year. Spectacular. The spectacular growth of the startup attracted attention in the business world. Useful adverbs to indicate subtle or gradual changes. Slightly. The price of the stock increased slightly during the trading session. Gently. The population of the city has been gently increasing over the past decade. Gradually. The company's market share has been gradually declining over the year. Steadily. The website's user base has steadily grown since its launch. Modestly. The profits of the small business increased modestly in the last quarter. Marginally. The improvement in customer satisfaction was only marginally noticeable. Useful adjectives to describe smaller or less noticeable changes. Slight. There was a slight increase in the price of consumer goods. Gentle. The gentle rise in temperature made for a pleasant afternoon. Gradual. The gradual decline in sales was a long-term trend. Steady. The company's steady growth over the past decade was reassuring for investors. Consistent. The consistent performance of the stock made it an attractive investment. Modest. The modest rise in revenue did not meet the company's expectations. Marginal. The marginal improvement in customer feedback did not have a significant impact. Useful vocabularies for graph. Rose, increased steadily. Rose, increased dramatically. Rose, increased gradually. Plummeted to, plunged to. Hit a peak, peaked at, reached a high of. Fluctuated. Fell, dropped, shrank drastically, dramatically, sharply. Remained flat, constant, stable at, unchanged. Dropped and then leveled off, evened out at. Hit a low of, bottomed out at. Fell and then quickly recovered. Dipped. Soared. Rocketed. Was erratic. Fell gradually, steadily. Exercise 1. Connect the vocabulary of change with the parts of the graph. More than one option is possible in some cases. Answers. A to B. Fell and then quickly recovered, dipped. B to C. Fell, dropped, shrank drastically, dramatically, sharply, plummeted to, plunged to. D to D. Dropped and then leveled off, evened out at. D to F. Rose, increased dramatically, soared, rocketed. F. Hit a peak, peaked at, reached a high of. F to H. Fluctuated, was erratic. G. Hit a low of. I to J. Rose, increased steadily, rose, increased gradually. J to K. Remained flat, constant, unchanged, stable at. L to M. Fell gradually, steadily,